Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dragonfly deck reviews. Um, the last couple, or the first two rather, I thought were a bit complicated. The decks, the archetypes were, kind of complex. Noble Knights with all the summoning and the cards re-equipped to the Noble Knights, and then Crystal Beasts had the crystallization, and many of their spells and traps had kind of complicated effects. So, uh, this video is going to be about a much more straightforward deck. It's just a straight aggressive beatdown deck that I personally find pretty fun to use. Uh, it's a it's actually what I have as my default deck right now. Um, if you missed it before, if this is your first time joining us, my name's Dan, Dragonfly 9078 on Dueling Network. Um, and This is my deck. This is my Australia deck, and please bear in mind, I have never been to Australia. Everything I know about Australia comes from the internet, so uh, just don't judge me too harshly. Um, Yeah, and I mean, like the things that would be like Australian or whatever. It's a beast deck. It uses koalas and kangaroos, etc. Um, with I guess like a scarecrow and snakes or whatever, because I don't know. There's snakes in Australia, or something. I don't know. There's logic in there somewhere. But anyway, so here it goes. Koalas. Koalas are fun to use. Koalas and kangaroos. Um, as you may know, the one of the main focuses of koala decks is the Master of Oz, a super powerful fusion monster. He doesn't have an effect, but he's got 4,200 attack and 3,700 defense. He's a fusion of Big Koala and Des Kangaroo. Um, Big Koala's level 7 normal monster, 2,700 attack, 2,000 defense. As a beast, they're all beasts, so there's some beast support in here. No effect. Des Kangaroo is a dark monster, 1,500 attack, 1,700 defense. Um, if he is attacked by a monster whose attack is lower than his defense, so if his defense hasn't been increased, basically, if they have less than 1,700 attack, then that monster is going to be destroyed um, after damage calculation. So if he's in defense mode, then that is especially how it works. Um, but also, interestingly, if he is in attack mode, and if he's attacked by something that has like 1,600 attack, then he's destroyed and you take 100 damage, but his effect will also destroy the enemy monster. Um, so I have three of him. Des Koala is another dark monster. It's another beast. 1,100 attack, 1,800 defense. He's got a flip effect. When he's flipped face up, your opponent takes 400 damage for every card in their hand, um, which can be a pretty good chunk of damage. If they have a full hand at the end of their turn and you flip this face up, then they're taking 2,400. Um, it can be pretty low if they only have like 1 or 0 if you're fighting Infernities, but on the whole, you can get some good damage out of Des Koala. And he's got pretty solid defense at 1,800, so if they're attacking, they could take some damage from the attack and add that on to the effect damage. Speaking of effect damage, Death's Wombat is a 1600 attack, 300 defense Earth Beast, level 3. Um, he stops effect damage from reaching you at all. You don't take any effect damage while he's on the field. Um, that's really good with this card, Dark Snake Syndrome, as I mentioned in my introduction video. Uh, it inflicts damage to both players during your standby phase. Starts at 200 and then doubles to 400, doubles to 800, 1600, 32, etc. until somebody dies or both people die. But with Death's Wombat on the field, you don't take any of that damage. Which is really the only real drawback of Dark Snake Syndrome. Other than that, it can take a couple turns to really warm up. Do keep in mind if Death's Wombat is destroyed and this is on the field and you weren't taking damage from this, you do take the full damage that it would be next turn. So if it's like the fourth turn or something, and your opponent has taken 200 and then 400 and then 800, and they're going to take 1600, but they destroy your Wombat, so you are taking the damage as well, you're taking 1600. You don't start at 200. I'm pretty sure. Giant Rat is a searcher when it's destroyed by battle. An Earth monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck in face-up attack mode. Yeah, only really works on Mystical Sheep and Sea Koala. So, I'm actually not quite sure why he's in there. Maybe I thought it worked on more. But, it's helpful sometimes. Mystical Sheep is really good on this deck. This is a very fusion-focused deck, and Mystical Sheep can be a substitute for a fusion monster. That's pretty much all it does. It's 1150 attack, 900 defense. Yeah. So it really helps out in the deck. Sea Koala goes with Tree Otter. Kind of an inversion instead of Tree Koala, Sea Otter, whatever. And they have opposite effects. Sea Koala is an Earth Beast, 100 attack, 1600 defense. It can reduce the attack of a monster that your opponent controls to 0 until the end of the turn. It can only do it once per turn, of course. Tree Otter is just the opposite. 1200 attack, 100 defense, and it can boost the attack of a monster you control by 1000 until the end phase. Their effects can only work if you have another face-up beast monster, so they do work well with each other. Say you have Sea Koala and Tree Otter, you can drop one of their monsters to 0 and boost Tree Otter up to 2200. So pretty good. And they also are the materials for the other fusion in this deck, which is Koala, a relatively powerful monster, 2800 attack, 200 defense, level 6, interestingly. And he has a good effect. You ditch a beast monster from your hand and can destroy a monster your opponent controls. Not just once per turn, either. So pretty decent effect. He does only have 200 defense, so that can be a problem, but on the whole, it's a good card. Vampire Koala is one of the most adorable cards I've ever seen. Just getting that out there. Just saying. It is cute. And it's pretty strong, too. 1800 attack, 1500 defense, Earth Beast, and it, when it inflicts damage to your opponent, then you gain the same amount as life points. It does only work if it was fighting a monster, unfortunately. So it can't you don't gain any life points from a direct attack, but that just makes it actually combo really well with Sea Koala. Drop one of their monsters to 0, attack with Vampire Koala. You hit them for 1800 and you gain 1800. It's a pretty good deal. Big Bang Shot. That's an equip card, attack boost, and gives the monster piercing. It's good for an aggressive deck. Yeah. Only downside to it is that the monster is banished if Big Bang Shot leaves the field. Closed Forest is actually a really good field card. I think it's mainly for beast monsters because it boosts their attack power by 100 for every monster in your graveyard. So that's a pretty basic effect, but it also prevents other field spells from being activated. So your opponent can't activate a field spell to replace it. It also prevents field spells from being activated the turn Closed Forest is destroyed. So them destroying Closed Forest, they can't just immediately activate a spell card after that. They have to wait for a turn. And then if you play another one, I realize I only have one in the deck, but a hypothetical deck that has multiple Closed Forests could play another one, and then they can't use theirs. Dark Snake Syndrome I told you about. Forbidden Dress. Target a monster on the field. That monster loses 600 attack, but then it can't be targeted or destroyed by other card effects. It's protection for Master of Oz, pretty much. It's actually part of a really good combo that Master of Oz has. Fusion Weapon works with Koala, boosts them up 1500 attack and defense. It's a pretty basic card. Puts them up to a 4300 and 1700 defense. So it actually makes him stronger attack power wise than Master of Oz. Non-spellcasting area is pretty good in this deck because it protects monsters from spells as long as they don't have an effect. As long as that monster doesn't have an effect. And it's good in this deck because it doesn't just work for normal monsters. It works for monsters without an effect, like Master of Oz. Master of Oz is not an effect monster, so he qualifies for non-spellcasting area. Also exploiting that little loophole is Daigusto Emerald. You can detach one from him to special summon a non-effect monster from your graveyard, so you can get Master of Oz back unless he was like Solemn Judgmented, or Solemn Warninged. Yeah. That's the main effect, that's the main reason Emerald is in here. Because it works for Master of Oz, it works for Gem Knight Pearl, it works for Gaga Giga the Risen. Poison Fangs. Continuous spell card. Every time one of your beasts inflicts battle damage to your opponent, then they take another 500. Pretty straightforward. Polymerization, I'm running 3 of them, because it is a very fusion-focused deck. Scapegoat, because sheep, and because beast monsters, and just having beasts in general, and having a wall in case I'm about to die. Solidarity, I really like. Works well with Closed Forest, because if you have just one beast monster, they gain 900 attack power. If you have just one beast monster in your graveyard, that is. All your beast monsters gain 900. Solidarity with a beast in your graveyard puts Master of Oz up to 5,000, and puts Koala up to 3,600. Wild Nature's Release is another part of that good Master of Oz combo. Basically, you take one of your beasts or beast warrior monsters, and they gain attack equal to their defense. But then they're destroyed during the end phase. So what you do is you use that on Wild Nature. You use Wild Nature's Release on Master of Oz. That puts him up to 7,900. So that is really powerful. Then you can use one of the other boosting things, Closed Forest, Solidarity, Big Bang Shot. What else? Horn of the Phantom Beast. To put him over 8,000. Then after you attack, and use Sea Koala to drop their monster to 0. After you attack, if Master of Oz is still there, if they didn't, Mirror Force it or deprison it, Forbidden Dress. Use it on Master of Oz. It loses 600 attack, but then it won't be destroyed by Wild Nature's Release, so you can keep using it next turn. Astral Barrier is there for the dual barrier combo. Astral Barrier, you can turn as long as you have a monster, you can turn any one of your opponent's attacks into a direct attack on you. Spirit Barrier goes perfectly with it. As long as you have a monster, you don't take battle damage. So you turn their attacks into direct attacks, but thanks to Spirit Barrier, you don't take any damage, and thanks to Astral Barrier, your monsters stay safe, so Spirit Barrier still functions. Excellent combo. I use it often. Dark Bribe is Dark Bribe. Horn of the Phantom Beast is a trap card, and when you activate it, it equips to one of your beasts or beast warriors. That monster will gain 800 attack, and when that monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you draw a card. Yeah. Howl of the Wild is similar to Poison Fangs, except different, because Poison Fangs is when a beast, or activates when a beast inflicts damage to your opponent, but Howl of the Wild activates when a monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle, and sends it to the graveyard. So if Macro or D-Fissure is on the field, then it doesn't actually do anything. They take 300 for every face-up beast you have, so that can also rack up damage. Roaring Earth basically just gives all of your beast monsters piercing. And when your opponent takes battle damage because of Roaring Earth, because one of your beasts inflicted piercing battle damage, you select a monster they control, a face-up one, and it loses 500 attack and defense, which can be good. Ultimate Offering, you know about. Scrap Iron Scarecrow, you probably know about, can negate one attack, and then you can set Scrap Iron Scarecrow instead of sending it to the graveyard, so you can negate another attack next turn. Pretty good. So I told you about Koala. Told you about Master of Oz. Daigusto Emerald, 1800, 800. It's a XYZ. You can detach to either shuffle 3 monsters in your graveyard into your deck and then draw a card, or special summon a non-effect monster. which again it could be Master of Oz, could be Gem Knight Pearl, could be Gaga Giga the Risen, could be Big Koala. Gachi Gachi Gantetsu is a rank 2, works with Sea Koala and Tree Otter. Um, you know, if you don't know what it does, it boosts all of your monster's attack and defense by 200 for every XYZ material it has, so either by 200 or 400. And then you can detach one to stop Gachi from being destroyed. Gaga Giga the Risen is just a powerful card. It does require 3 level 4 monsters to summon, but it has 2950 attack, 2800 defense, and it can be special summoned with Emerald and protected by non-spellcasting area. Gem Knight Pearl is only slightly weaker at 2600 and 1900, and can also be protected by non-spellcasting or summoned by Emerald, and only takes 2 monsters, so it's pretty good. Lavalval Ignis is rank 3, so Death Wombat, Death Koala, Mystical Sheep, 1800 and 1400. If it attacks or is attacked, then you can detach one to boost it by 500 until the end of the turn. Pretty basic. Zen Mines, I'm going to assume you know what Zen Mines does. Soul of Silver Mountain takes 2 level 3 Earth monsters, so that is Wombat or Mystical Sheep. You can detach, it's 1800 and 2200, pretty solid defense. You can detach an XYZ material from it to lock down one of their set spell or trap cards for as long as Silver Mountain's on the field. If it destroys an opponent's monster by battle while it has XYZ material, then you can special summon an Earth monster from your graveyard. It does special summon in defense, but how many Earth monsters are in this deck? Koala, Master of Oz is Earth, and 3700 defense is pretty solid. Vampire Koala, Giant Rat, Mystical Sheep, Sea Koala, Death Wombat, Big Koala. So it has a lot of targets. It is a very straightforward deck. It's just pretty much aggression, beating down the opponent with strong beast monsters with fusions. Not a lot of spell and trap destruction, if any. Its only real protection is non-spell casting area and forbidden dress. So, Dark Bribe. Forgot about Dark Bribe. So that also helps. So, I mean, it's a straightforward beatdown deck. It's not as fancy or as complicated as Crystal Beasts or Noble Knights. It's not a solid, put-together archetype, but it works, and I like it. So it's fun to play. Yeah, not really sure what else to say. So I guess I'm gonna sign off from this segment of DDR. If you didn't catch my first video or my Noble Knights video, then I'll say it again here. If you see me on Dueling Network, just pop in, say hi, PM me, give me a review, give me a comment, duel me, I guess. I'm always looking for fun duels, and maybe you can be one of the duels on my channel if once I start recording duels on my channel or for my channel. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Uh, love to hear what kind of people are actually watching my videos. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching once again. Uh, See you next time. What am I gonna do next time? Um, Probably another deck profile. Uh, Probably carrying on from Australia. I'm Yeah, yeah. This was a straightforward beatdown deck, so I think next time probably be a probably be kind of a staller deck, kind of a slower stalling deck, maybe a stall burn deck. So should be fun. See you next time, and thanks for watching.